live. I think
Oh,
we're live now.
lovely.
Good morning, everybody.
What's up, Deeds? How
Not a
goes
good
it,
morning,
buddy?
bro. It's going good. Who do we have this morning as our special guest?
Oh, dude, it's the one and only SteveO.
What's
SteveO, are
going
you?
on?
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah, man. Excited to be on. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Dude, we
No,
appreciate you joining us super early.
it's
Yeah,
super early.
yeah, it's 6:30 here, but that's okay. It's all right.
Is this one of your long days?
Yeah, this is let's see. Every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I get up at 5 a.m. and then I do the online chat for WCR from typically 8 a.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. Today, I'll be on till 7 p.m. Eastern. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a good part of our lives for Jersey I and some of the other reps here.
Yes, very
Yeah,
fun. Always checking the chat, making sure you can hook up the guys with what they need, when they need it, and
yeah,
how they need it, making sure they're
yeah,
buying the right stuff. Uh,
definitely.
yeah, it's awesome. But
Yeah, works out well.
very
How long
cool.
have you how long have you been working for Alex and Chris and WCR and them?
So back in, gosh, I want to say maybe 2016, 2017 is maybe when finally, or like not finally, but like kind of got hooked up with them, but I wasn't like working for them yet.
Yeah.
Back in, man, I think it was maybe 2014, 2015 when I was starting to create some videos. They were like sharing some of my videos that got like a little bit more popular. And that's when I kind of started noticing window cleaning resource. But the funny thing was at the time, like I was working for somebody, and so I got really nervous about the videos being posted because I was like, oh no, like I'm sitting here waiting for a job to start recording a video. My boss doesn't know it, but luckily my boss is really cool. He didn't find out till like 4 years later. But yeah, and then man, right before COVID, like 2 months or a month before, I went to Chris and I just asked him, I said, hey, like during the evenings, I'm already putting together like equipment lists for people, helping people out with mainly that type of stuff. And it would just be nice if I could finally like sell the equipment. So that got really going. 2020 was kind of my initiation year of kind of figuring it all out. And then in 2021, really got going with it, especially towards like May or June of that year. And that's when I started doing like the online chat and being around more. So I had my pure professional window cleaning business that I was starting at the beginning of 2021. And then that progressed over that year. And I planned to do that for decades. I didn't really think that this would be kind of like my main thing. And then it just grew over time. And eventually, beginning of 2024, that's when I stopped cleaning windows. So it's been really, really good though, man. I've learned a lot from them. A lot, a lot. I mean, it's been a very good journey so far.
That's
So
cool.
what do you think one of the, and I don't want to make this sound poorly or anything, but what is one of the worst things about like being a sales rep and taking the calls? And we all think about the good things. Let's hear one of the downsides of it.
So I would say it's when you look at, let's say, a firefighter, right? A firefighter gets into it because they think they're going to be fighting fires. What the reality is maybe 5% or lower of that actually is fighting fires, and 95% of it is being like a paramedic, right? And
Hmm.
so for us, the fun part, right, is entering orders. That's the only way that, we are reimbursed for our time as far as that goes. The other 95% is taking care of like all the back end stuff. Now, most of it is enjoyable. What the worst part is sometimes the actual carriers like FedEx, UPS, they're really rough on packages sometimes. So when something like that is out of your control and it's in their hands and stuff like that gets messed up, that's probably the most frustrating because none of us can do really anything about that. But
Using
then you
some
have
Wi-Fi.
people that, get frustrated with it. And it's totally understandable. But sometimes it's out of your hands. They lose packages, packages get damaged in shipping. That's probably one of the most frustrating parts that happens that's just not in anyone's control, but definitely happens.
I had a box arrive with I bought a pole last year or so, and the box came. It wasn't straight. It was like curved or crooked at the top. I'm like, ah! But when I opened it
Yep.
up, it was just the pole was fine, but it was just like an optical illusion of destruction. It like made
Oh
my
yeah.
heart skip a beat because I'm like, holy
Yep.
shit, those are
Yeah.
expensive.
Exactly. And typically when somebody orders like a large water fed pole package, right? You get like 5, 6 boxes. And what the carriers will do is they'll just split up the shipments like randomly. So you get, your system one day, then all of a sudden your rest of stuff is coming the other day, but you just purchased $1,000 of equipment. All of a sudden you're saying to yourself, oh my gosh, half of it isn't here. What the heck's going on? So then, it's that call. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it always gets worked out. And that's why, like, there's very good systems in place where typically you can always get a rep or call and talk to John Lee like after hours and get someone to like answer those questions. So they have it very well dialed in.
Call FedEx for me. Shit.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
But no,
I've run into that experience as well. I think I purchased my second water fed kit, and I got the package one and then the pole the next. And when my package came, like something was just off kilter, just wasn't exactly right. And at that point too, like I'm terrified because I don't want to call Jersey and be like, hey, is this right? Like, is this how this is supposed to look? Because I don't know really what it's supposed to look like. Like I yeah, that's just a stressful thing. And then I don't want to be bugging him. You know what I mean? Like, no, as customers, we don't want to be the ones calling back our reps and being like, hey, is this correct or is this incorrect or what's the deal? That's got to, you probably see how that goes for the clients too. We're like, shit, I don't want to be bagging on this guy. It's not his fault, you know?
But I look at it though, and that's part of like having a rep, right? Is someone that you can directly contact without having to go through, the different emails and stuff. You can just contact them directly. They can get that information for you. I think that's a typical thing about having someone like that. So it's good. But the funny thing is, man, like me knowing it so well, as far as knowing that packages get split up like that, I ordered some gym equipment from a company like a year and a half ago. Same exact thing happened. Half of it got delivered one day. I freaked out, called them, and I realized, man, I should just do what I typically do with my job and realized look up like the actual FedEx or UPS tracking number, and that'll show you everything as far as how many packages come in. XYZ is
Uh,
effective.
Little tricks of the trade we're picking up here this morning from
Hey,
SteveO.
there you go. Just
yeah.
look at shipment
Enter the
tracking
tracking and
numbers.
read it. Yeah.
Gotta love it.
We're
Hey,
window
we got
cleaners. We're not paid to read,
This is true. This is
or
why we got
do
into it.
or do math. And if it is math, it's always simple math, right?
Yep,
20
just add it.
windows, $7 one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
times
Exactly.
five.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. So real quick, Steve, we got a couple people in this morning. Nathan Pickett popped in. He wanted to say hi. Mike Nichols says FedEx is the worst. Adam Helgen Jr. is in the building. Craig is in the house, and Grace popped in too. Everybody's popping in to say good morning real quick.
Loving the shirt, Grace.
Awesome.
Rocking it. Yellow bananas
Yeah,
today.
gotta love it.
Good
Gotta
morning.
love it. So, what about, I kind of touched really briefly on some of the worst things about being a rep. What are some of the most fun and some of the dopest things about being a rep? And also, not only just being a rep, but being affiliated and being in this industry.
Yeah, I would say that one of the best things to see is now that I've been in this for, I think, 6 seasons altogether, you talk to thousands of window cleaners, and I have gotten the chance to talk to a lot of window cleaners where they started from absolutely nothing. And a lot of that started really during the COVID time. There was a large amount of people that worked in corporate, or I even had some like drummers from a very popular band who started a window cleaning company and became successful. But one of the companies that I got to kind of help with just a tad at the very beginning was actually a company, two owners named Carter and Brandon, and they started Pink's Windows. And so I got hooked up with them back in 2020 and was just kind of like their guy to go to for like on the job weird things that would come up. And then seeing someone like them where now they've grown that company to like 150 franchises,
I see that.
that's
Yeah.
sometimes like a really cool thing to see is others' growth, or even you start helping somebody at the beginning of getting going with quotes and everything. And not that I want it to stop, but what you start seeing is their questions be less and less and less because they're learning more and more and more and becoming more confident in what they're doing. So you start realizing that, like, man, they really have it, they've got it. like they're doing very well in it. And so it's nice to just see people's growth and progression. And that's really honestly the best thing about it. And that's honestly why I started like my YouTube channel. I at the time never thought it would be anything at all. I just did it because I worked at YouTube for 6 months being a security guard. So nothing crazy. Nothing crazy at all. It was totally by chance that that happened. Um, and so, yeah, just seeing that progression and seeing that growth has been really cool because for me, when I started doing storefronts, I had a guy who trained me who was just very hard to be around and really didn't give much tips and just wanted to be the main guy. After I kind of started figuring out, I thought, man, like it's window cleaning. Like, why should somebody be keeping things to them? I mean, it's just a simple job. And so I just started like sharing things here and there. And I don't know. That's kind of how I see it though, as far as that goes.
So I just learned something this morning. You said you worked at YouTube as a security guard for 6 months. That's interesting and hilarious all at the same time.
Yeah,
How
man.
was that? How was that?
Dude, it was a really cool job. So what happened was I moved to California for 1 year in 2011. This was right after college, and I got linked in with them after being there for like 6 months. I applied for a random security job because I was working at a restaurant, and the restaurant was cutting back on our hours. And so I applied for this random security job. It wound up to be with Google. And so this was in, what was it, Mountain View, San Jose area. And so I never knew that YouTube was in San Bruno, California. And I just got positioned at their headquarters. And while you're there, like, man, you get to meet a bunch of popular people. One of the coolest people I ever met there was Jonah Hill. So
Neat.
like and bands would come in and play in the lobby and different stuff. But I don't know, like around like 2012, I feel like or 2011 was still when like YouTube was kind of like growing, quite a bit. And
Yep.
so working there was very eye-opening, but it was security. So I mean, the job was just, oh, you just go around and you just scan a key at every door to make sure the security is working. And then you just walk around the building. I mean, it was one of those jobs where you just look at the clock the whole entire day and you're like, oh man, like I got 8 hours here. And so it wasn't very fascinating, but it was a very cool place to work for a short while. But I eventually just moved back to Colorado because being out there was so expensive during that time. You had to work 7 days a week to just be able to pay rent and get by. So it was a different world out there. So came back to Colorado.
Word.
Yeah.
So another question. What's your daily this is from Mike Nichols. He wants to know what your daily caloric intake is. Are you also watching the stream or no in pro?
I'm not. I'm just,
Okay.
yeah, because I'll get like sidetracked
Yeah.
with it all.
I just wanted to see if you saw his question too.
Oh gosh,
Daily caloric intake.
yeah, me and Mike can put down some food, man. Gosh, dude, like I don't eat very much like when I'm home, but man, when we go to these conventions, or go on vacations, I just kind of go crazy. Like I think I left at like 217 pounds and I got back at 224 pounds. So,
That'll do it.
yeah, I don't know, 2,500, 3,000. I'll keep it healthy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Somebody also asked, Deeds, do you see the feed? Because I'm only getting a couple of
Yes.
them.
Uh,
Somebody was just asking, I think it was Adam was asking about I
are
can't
we getting
tell what he said.
are we getting a synthetic boar hair light brush? Are they going to do boar's hair on the super light uh, brush
Yeah.
anytime soon?
Yeah, that's coming. I think Sparta released a video about that. So yeah, that's definitely coming. And I love that bristle. I don't know if you guys have tried like the longer bristled ones from Zero or any of the brands that have that synthetic boar hair. Have you guys tried that yet?
I have not. No.
Try it out, man. It is I've never had a complaint about it as far as it has had the like glide of nylon, but it kind of has the agitation of boar hair, which I don't quite get because it's not natural boar hair,
Mhm.
but works extremely well. And I think it will work really nice in the light brush just due to that bristles being like shorter in the middle, being so close to the glass. Have you guys tried that light brush as well?
I
I
know
have.
Jason has. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Jason, about it?
I dig it. I dig it. I'm still, Steve, I still am, I'd say 85% traditional window cleaner. I use my water fed. I don't know, maybe once every week or two, just depending upon the type of gig. And then sometimes I only use a brush for a couple windows and then I'm switching because a lot of times I'm just trying to get some content and some videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a preference necessarily on the brushes or anything. There's some that work, you know, but it's all personal preference. As we've kind
Yeah.
of come to know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I got one of your PWP brushes a while back, and that thing is gangster. I
Yeah.
think it's the 20 inch, I believe, and it feels, I don't know, it just feels like those things are pretty solid.
Yeah. No, they're,
Well built tank.
yep, definitely. I think that one of the cool things about like not to go off on like products, but like a PW people, the one big difference between like other brands is they come with like a 16-inch hybrid brush with like 4 pencil jets, which is unusual being like a standard brush that typically comes with two, as far as the pencil
Yeah.
jets and then being like the smaller style of brush at a 12-inch.
So I got a question. Why, like, so everything is switching to high flow, right? Why don't some
Yeah.
of the brushes just come with a high flow adaptation like originally? Does
So
that?
like as in like high flow for all of the connections all the way to the jets on the brush block.
Yeah.
Right now, there's not the jets that have the larger, like outer diameter of that barb that could go over the actual high flow hose that's the 5/16. Now, I have
Hmm.
seen guys do it where they will put the low profile clamps that come with like a univalve and they'll put that right on the hose, like over that barb area and pinch it because you can get all of the T connections, you can get the Y connection to bring it all together and then connect high flow hose. But honestly, I mean, from like testing it, have you guys used high flow at all?
Yeah,
Or
Yeah.
that's
even
what I use.
okay, nice. Because like from what I found using it and testing it was even though it was adapting down there right at like the pencil jets, or you can just go right on the barb of a rinse bar, it really, I mean, the flow rate of it to me was so much better, not even increasing PSI through the system or anything. It was kind of a game changer, I think, for just having that more flow without having to really make any other changes.
Yeah. Now, like, I guess it just seems weird that there's like just tiny little adapters and all it could be just switched as one little thing. Like maybe isn't there, what is it, a three ace and what are the different sizes again?
So I mean, of like the push to fits.
Yes.
Push to fits can come in like 10 millimeter and 3/8, but 10
Okay.
millimeters and 3/8 is actually two different sizes. So 10 millimeters is just a tad bit bigger than 3/8, where when you look at 8 millimeter for like the regular zero hose, that is exactly 5/16. So high flow hose is actually a 10 millimeter. So when you look at it on our website, if you have a reducer, it's 8 millimeter to 10 millimeter. And then there's also like straightly labeled high flow hose connections as far as like the straight. So it's all 10 millimeter for high flow.
Got it.
Nice.
Now, I was just thinking in my head, like it just seems like so easy, like just switching like a little adapter on the end or something to where it just makes it to where you just plug it in or it comes standard set that way
Standard just to plug into the actual, just like the
for the
brush
high
without
flow.
having to, yeah. Well, you can always get a T connection that goes 8 millimeters to connect to the hose, and then it's 10 millimeters. So you could connect that right into the pencil jets. Yeah. It's all kind of
Oh,
things these days.
for sure. So we got some more people that are popping in. Sean Hart says this dude knows everything. Zane is talking about how he loves the Boris Harris. Damien popped in. Nick Anderson's in. So we got a bunch of guys coming in to say good morning. We appreciate your time, Steve. Like I said, we know it's early, and I know you still got more work to do today. But starting our day off with you is awesome, man. We really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
man. Yeah, that was good. It's good to get waking up like this in the morning and kind of get going. So I don't mind it.
Cool. You're gonna
Yeah.
drink coffee anyway.
Yep, I got my coffee, but then I also have my Celsius, every morning. So,
So yeah,
yeah.
gotta hydrate.
Also, yep. How much caffeine do you guys drink in a day? Random question.
I drink two of these.
Two
I'll
of
fill
those?
it, drink it till it's almost gone, fill it again, and then I'm done for the day. I did
Now,
a
now,
job. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say now, what kind of like coffee is it? Is this
Okay.
like yeah.
I'll do a Folgers regular breakfast
Oh geez.
stick, and then it'll
There he goes.
make it nice.
Nice.
Oh,
I missed one
You
part of that.
froze
Yeah,
for a
what'd you
second.
say?
Oh, I Folgers coffee, maybe 2 or 3 scoops, and then some Pike's Place kind of Starbucks bag, and I put that on top to kind of cheat and make it like, oh, I'm drinking good coffee. So that kind of helps the Folgers taste better. And then I just
Yeah.
do a scoop of sugar, some milk, and maybe a coffee mate sweet cream, Italian cream. So
Nice,
complicated, not
nice.
complicated. It's an
There
So
you
art.
go.
Deeds is over there making it a little extra silky, so he's
Just
not
let me
tasting this.
cook. Yeah,
Yeah,
call me Heisenberg.
he needs to cut his coffee with some real other stuff. So
Yeah.
I uh I am down with the Starbucks. I usually drink at least a Trenta, a 30 ounce, and then I usually top that back off with possibly another 30.
Oh
So
man.
yeah, I don't drink too much water. I need to adjust my intake. I was a big time water fiend, and then I don't know, man. All of a sudden it doesn't
Just stop.
taste. Yeah, it's just there's no, I don't know. I need a flavor for that ear. You know what I
You
mean?
need
Here
you get one
comes
of
the
those
brand
like
new flavor for the ear.
you
Yeah.
get those
Let
little like flavor drops, man. Put them in your water,
doop,
you
doop,
know.
I
tastes
got some
better.
of those. I got some of those, and then we have some of the little shake like
Primes.
hydration. Yeah, like I did actually had some Prime yesterday. Um, but we got some of that hydrate stuff too. And those are all right. It's just
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm so over the water. I think I waterlogged myself for about 3 years, and then just you ever do something for so long, such a long period of time, and you just burn out, and you're like, yeah, I don't ever want to do that again. That's
Oh
Yeah.
water
yeah,
for me.
yeah.
My wife drinks like
My
probably like a
wife.
gallon of water a day. I'm probably at like 40 ounces. Like I should definitely drink more, but that just doesn't come up. I'll drink a ton of coffee, like energy drink as far as that goes, which I shouldn't do a bunch of that, but it's keep going in this busy life.
I skipped drinking coffee yesterday for the first time in forever because I drank 2 of these a day. And at work yesterday morning, I didn't sweat at all. I went through the whole morning without sweating my dick off or sweating through my shirt. And I'm like, maybe there's something corresponding with not drinking coffee before a job. Because, it's 85 degrees by 10 o'clock in the morning out here. And I put that correlation together. So I think I'm going to slow down on the coffee on work days, except for today, and not sweat my ass off because it's healthier that way.
You ever seen the example of a spider web making a web on caffeine and then just
Yes.
like normal? Yeah,
Yep.
and it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
totally sporadic on caffeine. And then there's
Mhm.
like even other drugs they give it, and it's like not
The
nearly as bad.
LSD, crystal
Yeah,
meth, weed. Yeah. It's
LSD,
this,
it's beautiful art.
yeah. That's cool. Well, you can sit there and stare at it for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, gentlemen, I know what the hell I'm
Some pig.
Googling after this.
Yeah, oh, it's great.
Yes.
Yeah, totally look it up, man.
Yeah.
I totally will. So we've talked a little bit about some of the work stuff. You're a family man, wife, kids. What else do you do for fun, man? Like what floats your boat? What keeps you going when you're not I know you don't sling studs anymore, selling equipment and whatnot,
Yeah,
and being a business coach or someone to lean on. What do you
yeah.
do for fun?
So I'm really into, I'll do jujitsu a couple times a week. That's just a nice, get your brain away from everything else. Now that it's football season, I'm a big fan of football. I mean, that's like my main sport. Basketball's coming up like in October. Love basketball as well. So sports really kind of gets me away from like everything. I've always enjoyed it. And honestly, too, since having kids, just like you guys know, like once you do, you kind of want to spend that free time with them as much as possible. So, like my big thing over the last couple of years, especially after my like daughter was born, not that anything odd with like my son, but like it just really kind of came to light of how much time I just want to be able to spend with them, like away from work. And so now I try to shut off the phone more in the off hours and kind of just have my time for my family. And that's been a major thing. But other than that, man, there's like not a lot of extra time. Like when you look at your week and you look at your day, you get done with work, you start helping with the kids for 3 to 4 hours, get them showered, get them going to bed. By that time, it's 8:30, 9 o'clock, and man, I'll pass out by like 9:30. So that's my
Yep.
life. So not that entertaining. Try to go to the mountains as much as possible. Went up to the mountains early this week. It's like fall foliage time here in Colorado, so it's always a beautiful time.
Yes. Those
Yeah.
beautiful yellow leaves everywhere.
Yep. Yep.
Gorgeous in Colorado.
Speaking of Colorado, man, you were kind enough to take some time out of your day again this past June when I was out there hanging out. And you sat down with me. We met at a Starbucks, of course, and we visited. You gave me some pointers, and it's hard to understand what you guys are dealing with, the sales reps at WCR on a daily basis, and how organized it is that you have to stay and be. Is that like, is your organizational skill, is your scheduling, like your daily organization on point, or do you still need to work on that and get better at it week to week?
Now that I've been doing this for quite a long time, my mind is pretty much scheduled to exactly what I do. And, knowing all the systems, I feel like every time you start a job, right, where you are an employee, it takes a while to calibrate to like everything that's going on. It takes, even like 1 to 2 years. So after that, like 2 year mark, and just knowing like what we do day to day, really the biggest things that like come up and change is different software changes or updates to things that make things like a little bit more difficult that you have to kind of relearn. And so organization wise though, I've never been like overly crazy about it, but in work, for some reason, I just remember a lot of stuff off the top of my head, and that's only in work. That's not in like anything else. The rest of my life is not that crazy organized. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I get through the days pretty simple, and yeah, I would say that organization is a thing I don't have issues with, but yeah, I guess so. I guess that would be I answer that question.
Well, it's a tough thing. It's like, that organization is not my thing either. And I think you and I are similar on, excuse me, on that as well. Like I can remember people's phone numbers still. And I can remember certain things, but I feel like it's once you attain so much information, you always lose a little extra, you know what I mean? So it's like trying to keep that memory bank full of the important things. Like I don't necessarily need to know the leading scorer from the Suns from 1993, but
Yeah,
we still do. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh yeah.
Um, it's funny that you were talking about the football and basketball and the sports coming too. It's kind of that's my escape as well. Are the Broncos, you're in Colorado, are the Broncos your team? Who are your teams in the sports? Who do you follow?
Yeah, I follow Denver Broncos, Denver Nuggets. Unfortunately, our Rockies team has never been great, so that's always been a downfall. So I don't do much with baseball. But then college football, I mean, CU has been kind of huge for ever since like Deion Sanders came in. So that's been kind of fun to watch, even though I went to the rival college, CSU up in like Fort Collins. So yeah,
Yeah.
I grew up in Boulder, so I kind of, love that team. And then gosh, really into I watch a lot of UFC too. I mean, that's also something that I really get into. I don't rent pay-per-views as much these days because they're so expensive. But I keep, up with that too.
Speaking of UFC, have you've been doing the jujitsu, you said for about a year back again, but you've done it for a long time in the past. Who's the biggest pain in the ass that you've had to practice or wrestle with or spar with? And you told me that you get your ass kicked all the time, but
Yeah.
how bad has it gotten?
Dude, you know what's the most humbling thing right now is getting into it and being almost 40 years old is the young energy of like 20 to 22-year olds. And my gosh, like, just had a class last night and you go with them, there's so much energy there that you just can't keep up. And when I started this sport back in 2007, 2008, a lot of the people getting into it were already in their 20s, already in their 30s. And it wasn't something that, kids were starting when they were 6 or 7, like karate at the time. So now a bunch of kids over the years have started that at 6 or 7. So by the time they're 2022, they've been doing this for like 15 years. And they know so much that, you just get super humbled. And I think it's a very good sport to do that wrestling just due to that. It's one of those things where somebody who's 125 pounds could kick someone's ass who's 250 pounds. And that's a very humbling experience. Like, I don't have a specific name of somebody. I've never got to really like grapple with big names. I've gotten to meet like the whole Gracie family. That's been really cool. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those sports where you never know who could humble you. But it's a very respectful sport. And that's the thing I enjoy the most about it.
Nice.
Well, it kind of has to be respectful, or you're going to get your ass kicked, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, things happen in class where, we don't punch or kick each other, but Even last night gave a guy a good nod on his head from an elbow just coming in. But it's all respectful. It's like, hey, like this is what we signed up for. This is what's gonna happen. And it's a little freaky getting into it at like 40 years old almost again and realizing, if you got hurt, it kind of sucks. And that's really one of the reasons I can get back into it now is because I'm not cleaning windows, so you don't depend on, your body, depend on your hands, because gosh, when an injury happens, it really holds up work. Like I remember Deeds, you were having I don't want to say trouble, but you were having some health stuff, right? Where
Oh
maybe
yeah, yeah, I was sick as
work kind
shit
of got
last
delayed
year.
for a bit. Yeah.
Yep, that was it, And I would go out in the morning and I'd get overheated, oversweated, and I would have like vomiting up all the water and just go into a weird tailspin of getting sick. Where I've had to like tell the customer like I'm on the roof cleaning the solar panel, like I got to come back later. I'm effed up right now. It's pretty bad.
Oh
But
man.
yeah, and that when I was younger, I used to work as a ski instructor, teaching little kids how to ski, like pizza, French fries, and all that. And my nickname at the job, there was like 30 of us instructors, but my nickname was Mark, not the Park, because all the guys younger than me will go through hit the half pipe and I'd hit it, but I wouldn't do any of the cool fucking tricks or anything, because I knew that I had to go back to work later that day or the next morning and teach little kids how to ski. Well, one day I hit a ramp. I was hanging with the big boys. We had hit one of those uh, whatever. Anyway, I hit the ramp going at like 35 miles an hour when I should have been going 10, and I like skipped over another landing, missed the next jump, missed that landing, and landed on my back. And I usually have a can of beer in my backpack, so it would have killed me. But I lived. But I was like, the guys are like shaking when they come up to me, and they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, and I had explained to them, me making that sound was because my anus was like expanding out. Like I could feel there was some bad shit going on.
What?
So after that, we're done for the day. But my nickname after that was Mark, not the Park, because obviously I was stupid and did dumb shit. Almost risked my
Yeah.
ski instructing career for that. You got to be
Yeah.
careful. And now I'm 20 years older. There's no way I'd be hitting those jumps. Maybe the half pipe, but no more jumps. Not the Park.
I'm the same way with skiing, man. I always try to keep up with my friends, and they would go crazy fast down the mountain. They could do the half pipes and go up.
Mhm.
And every time I went off of it, my mind would just lose control. I'd crash every time. I I,
Yep.
I sucked. I was exactly that same person. Like they would go through the park and do a bunch of stuff, and I would just go by. I'm like, oh, that's pretty
I
cool,
can
man.
hang, but I can't fly.
Yeah,
No flying.
cannot do that. That's just not my thing.
No. But yeah, gotta be careful. We're getting older. When you were younger, were you inspired for the jujitsu? Did you watch like Surf Ninjas or Three Ninjas Kickback and all those movies as a kid?
Surf ninjas. No, I've
Surf
never heard of
Ninjas.
this. I mean, what Karate Kid, Mr.
Well, yeah,
Miyagi, like
yeah,
that
Mr.
kind of stuff.
Miyagi,
Yeah.
that was inspirational. But I'm talking like I think the movie was Three Ninjas. So it was like three little
Yeah.
kids, Tom
Rocky
Tom, and
loves
yeah,
Emily. Rocky
that's right.
loves Emily.
It's like a
Everybody
1992
knows.
release. It was awesome. Maybe
Oh
I know you're a
man.
little older than us, but or maybe.
No, he's a
I don't
little young.
know.
Well, he's your age.
Okay, so he's 30.
38.
30. Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm really 40. I fib.
You're really 40, but
I
you're
feel
still
like I'm 30.
35.
No, I feel like I'm 47. That's good stuff.
Hey,
Goo,
nothing's
how
wrong
Older
with
is
the
great.
Goo, how
nothing's
old
wrong
are
with the
you?
40s. Yeah,
You
I'm
gotta tell us.
47. I
Oh,
just
that's
turned
right.
47 in August, and yeah, I feel it. I feel it. The
So
Uh-huh.
hips.
are you getting used to people calling you Goo instead of Jason? Indeed,
No,
same
actually,
thing. But
I've been
Deeds has
called.
always kind of had that a little bit.
Little
Yeah,
beans.
I've been called Goo since I was in high school. That name
Uh-huh.
came from my high school PE coach. My last name is Gulick, and there was two. There's me, Jason Gulick, and then my buddy Jason Bianco, and we both kind of dressed the
That's a good one.
same. Yeah, we were both kind of dressed the same. We both kind of had the same look. And we both would like kick everybody's ass in all the sports in our PE class. We were small guys, but we could play every sport. And we were athletically, this sounds like I'm bragging, but we were athletically gifted in pretty much everything. And he would just crack up. The coach was like this old New York guy. And at the time, um, KFC was doing original fried chicken and extra crispy. And so he was calling me the goo man, goo, goo man, and he would just go off and crack jokes about it. And then it was the original. I was the OG original. And then he was just start calling my friend Pawnee extra crispy. So
Nice.
it went from goo to the original and extra crispy. But yeah, man, um, Goo's been a nickname since 1992. And
Wow. Yeah.
my coach Dan Mannix, he's a legend out here in Arizona. He's won multiple state championships for basketball. Um, to be honest, he's probably one of the reasons I graduated high school, because I didn't want to let that guy down. This is crazy, man. I took PE 4 years because I love that guy.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, when you find somebody that you can look up to, or somebody that gets you and somebody that can push you along, it's extremely important. And I think I realized even at a young age, like there's certain people you don't want to let down in life, right? And
Yeah.
when they continue to motivate you and push you, and when they don't treat you poorly, you just want to keep doing things and make them happy, right? Like it's just
Yeah.
kind of like what we do as people.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and to this day, Coach Dan Mannix will reach out via Facebook and give me a shout on my birthday. And he's just, dude, that guy taught my mom driver's ed.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, he was the
Frank,
driver's ed
Frank.
teacher. He was the driver's ed teacher for my mom and my uncle in like 1977. So he was only like 25 years old at the time. Uh,
Wow.
I, um, but yeah, man, that nickname's been around forever. It's a good one, man. I love it. Near and dear to the
Deeds,
heart.
Deeds, how did yours come up? Or is this like, is your middle name start with a D? Or
Oh
like,
no.
did this come from Mr. Deeds, the Adam Sandler
Came,
movie?
came from the Adam Sandler movie, basically. I was
Okay.
sitting in my chair. The Deeds lady pulled up. I was on Target.com. I was looking for a part-time job because my wife and I were either going to have a third kid or take the two to Disney. And either way, it's like 9,000 bucks. So I'm looking at Target.com for a part-time because I'm like, all right, we're gonna have a baby. Fuck it. I look out the window. My Deeds lady's in the neighborhood. She stopped at my mailbox, writing shit down. I went out and talked to her. So what's up, Deb? She goes, you got some black stuff. We're sending letters to everybody in the neighborhood in the spring. Nothing personal. So I walked back in the house and I exited out of Target and I'm like, I'm going to start a pressure washing business. I had
Oh,
just
wow.
started, I did my driveway the weekend before. So I had that out. The night before, I Mr. Deeds on Stars. So I was like, man, I need to think of a name. So I'm looking at names. I'm like, Mr. Deeds pressure washing. Nobody had it. I'm like, that sounds pretty good. So I bought that, rolled with it. He was, the character in the movie. He was just a normal guy. He was good in his neighborhood. Everyone loved him. He inherited $1 million. He did good deeds. So that's a pretty cool deal. I'm going to go with that. So kind of stuck
Yeah.
after that one. And yeah, it's been a good deal. I remember you used to be 2020 window cleaning, right? That was your right until freaking COVID hit.
No, so basically 2020 Window Cleaning was the company that I started with back in like 2014, and then
Okay,
halfway through became a co-owner. And
cool.
so yeah, the owner was Jim Ham, and so Jim Ham was like my mentor. And like when I started there, he was I think about 55 years old. And just when I first got into there, I was, very opinionated about like many things in the business, and he
Sure.
really taught me how to relax and just, kind of just like do the job. And so like a lot of the stuff that I say like that I've like put out there, I learned a lot from him, and he was very encouraging. Like once he realized kind of like what I was doing, like he always pushed me to like be better. And he knew one day like we would probably split up. It was like totally a mutual thing. It was never like a weird thing at all. And so we're still really great friends to this day. And then I switched to like pure professional window clean when I started that new company for a bit.
Nice.
So he was a mentor of yours in a way as well.
Oh yeah, man. Like when we started out, it was just kind of like we just got along super well from day one. We worked together for 7 years, and
Damn.
we never had a single argument during that whole entire time. It was just a very, very good work relationship. And we were really big about too of like not hanging out too much, like outside of work. We just kept it there, never got like overly close, which I think is odd in my eyes, but I kind of think that way with some stuff with work that it kind of balances it out well and that you're not like seeing them all the time. And yeah, but he was a huge mentor, just like taught me tons about the business. And so when I started my business, Peer Professional, he kind of helped me out with stuff. And yeah, I was really good. And then when I eventually gave up Peer Professional, he took over like some of the commercial stuff that I had and everything. So he's just been a very good ally. Colorado, like as you know, like it has a very good network of window cleaners, and I'm sure that's like the same in any state. But
Yeah.
just in like my area, like when I let go of my residential, I just gave it off to local window cleaners who I know who would take care of it well. And it's just that's been a really good thing as far as the community, even like locally, has always been really good.
Nice.
I hope I hope someday to be able to do that as well. I think that that's kind of the way to go. Unless I end up selling a portion or doing something like that. I think it's kind of like it's a great way to pay it forward, right? It's
Yeah.
like one of those things where you
Mhm.
can get back to your community, still stay, I don't want to use the term relevant, but like still being like, hey, yeah, I like kind of in your own head, yeah, I know where it all started. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of cool. I wanted
And
to go over a couple of these things real quick that we got in the chat. Gabe Gutierrez says, really nice meeting you at the huge. Mason Embry was talking about a couple things. Good morning to Mason as well. Um, I wanted to go back. Minotaur Mike is bringing it back up. Um,
Yep.
Gabe brought up the huge again real quick. You were talking a little bit um, about going to some of these events and what have you. I remember 3 years ago when I went to my first huge, I had a goal in mind, and it was to meet Jersey and physically get my hands on a zero and to hopefully meet Richie Blue. And I get to the huge, and at the Cascades bar is Jersey and SteveO and Grubbs and Zane and all, like, I had been around the rooms, pro window cleaning for about 2 years at that point, but I didn't really interact with everybody. And at that point too, like I didn't want to just go introduce myself to all these people. Like I didn't want to go and be like, "Hey, Steve-O, big fan. Like I see all your stuff." Like I don't. Um, I didn't want
Fanboy.
to be yeah, I didn't want to be a fanboy. Plus, also, like to be honest, I never learned by watching YouTube videos. That wasn't my thing. I had already been doing it for a long period of time, so I would just see certain clips, and I also don't lie to people, so I didn't want to be like, oh, tell you some line of stuff or whatever. But
right.
I wanted to tell you, in case I didn't tell you this when I saw you in June or when I saw you in August. I was intimidated rolling up on trying to go meet you and Grubbs and a couple of the other guys and like Chris and Alex. And I was scared shitless to even talk to Jersey. And now it's like, oh man, what was I so afraid of? These guys are just dudes. Like, what's the
Down to
big
earth.
deal?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I guess it also um I guess it comes down to you guys being genuine, humble, honest. Um, just nice guys, you know what I mean? And sometimes guys that are online personalities, I guess you want to say, or online celebrities in our own little industry. Some guys get big for their britches or think they're hot shit, and you carry yourself in a manner in which I really appreciate. And
Oh, thank you.
Jersey's the same, yeah, and Jersey's the same, and all you guys are just like I said, down to earth, humble men, and
Wow.
that's a really um honorable and awesome quality that I admire about you guys. So I wanted to say thank you for that, and in case I didn't tell you that before, I did want to relay it to you because I remember seeing you that first time and you're like, you're Jason, right? And I was like, oh shit, he knows my name. Like I thought I was all special and cool or something, but um it
See,
did it did me.
I remember that kind of stuff, like with like work and everything, but then like names outside of it, I just can't remember anything.
Yeah. Well, and then like the next year, like I had later on that same trip, I did run into Zane, and I didn't really know Zane at all, and I hadn't seen a bunch of his work yet. He was still up and coming. And he and I had this great conversation, and then he kind of like introduced me to Mike, which then he just kept gently introducing me to everybody again. And making me feel more accepted. And I feel like that's kind of like how this industry is once you break in and get a little more comfortable with not only yourself, but with the people that are around you, you continue to learn more and you continue to grow more. Not only, and I've stated this in AWC Mag, I've stated it in the post, but I feel like you guys have helped me grow as a business owner, but also as a man. And I don't know very many other industries or many other professions where I can say that some of you guys are not kind of are role models, guys I look up to, and good examples of what it is like to be like. Like,
NFL
see,
players. They're all great,
Yeah.
role models.
yeah. Well, I don't see
Yeah.
Steve-O and Jersey out getting arrested for DUIs and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Not that it hasn't happened before, but no, I'm kidding. I
Yeah,
kid, I kid.
exactly. Driving Lamborghinis, getting in
Why
trouble,
can't we date Cardi B?
having 10 baby mamas.
Yeah, nobody wants to smell her. I mean, see her. Uh, so
Huh.
Deeds actually speaking of Cardi B real quick, Deeds, didn't you have a did you have a Cardi B sighting this week?
What?
I did. I kind of had a Cardi B. I saw her security. About 5 miles from here, Cardi B did an album drop where she was like going to meet at like the shittiest Walmart in our area. They picked the worst Walmart with like the worst crime, just terrible, and that's where they launched her album this week. And so I
Wow.
saw, and all over next door, they were talking about troopers flying around. They had ICE agents pulling people over and shit like that. So it was an interesting day for having a lot of private security in the zip code for Cardi B. It was weird. And I almost
Wow.
wanted to go buy an album just so I can get a photo with her, just like a joke. But I was going to wait in line for 6 hours, so I paid some other guy to do it. I'm just kidding.
Oh man.
But
Wow.
yeah, she was actually late. People were bitching online. She's like, Cardi B's, she's 2 hours late. I've been in this line for 6 hours. People had like heat stroke and passed out from exhaustion. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's
Are
Wow.
crazy.
celebrities like that ever on time? I mean, they're on
Nope.
their own. They're in their own world.
Yep.
That's right.
Gotta make
So
him wait for it. Gotta make him like really, really
Yes.
want it.
Yeah,
yeah.
but missed out.
So any fun crazy things that are coming up that you can share with us that WCR might be putting out anytime soon? You got anything that exciting, anything you want to share?
Man, there are some exciting things coming. One of them I feel like you guys probably saw at the convention. Um, it's like a blue and black handle. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, so that's an item though I guess I can't talk about. But like that's probably going to be the most exciting thing coming. But for some reason I can't say anything about it. I am not much in with as far as everything that's coming out like new. As far as that goes, Chris does a lot of creating that different equipment, and man, he's always like 3 years ahead. Like he has
Yeah.
such a plan. Like I don't know how he does it, and so him, Alex are always kind of putting together stuff, and then all of a sudden we just like see it released. And so that's how a lot of stuff comes, is that you don't see a lot of like, oh, coming soon this or pre-order this. Like they're very much about like, boom, here it is, it's ready to go. As we talked about earlier, there is that synthetic board hair light brush coming out. I mean, they're always creating new water fed poles. I know one of the things that I saw on one of Sparta's posts was a zero micro that kind of had like a different shape so that it doesn't spin at all. But in the actual traditional window cleaning world, I think that's where a lot of people like all like the new little trinkets and everything. I mean, there hasn't been a whole lot of new stuff that's like really come out in the past like even year. I mean, the most popular thing that's come out probably in the past year and a half is Maker Crush. Um, and just it's such a popular soap. And then man, for water fed, I think the biggest upgrade that people are doing is like the high flow hose that we were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
Um,
There's nothing that beats that, dude.
yeah, yeah, it's
It,
so
it's
good.
such a it's such a great addition to your arsenal, and it doesn't seem like it would be that much different. But going from the standard to the high flow is game changer, and
Yeah,
it
Mhm.
just
definitely.
adds just so much extra output. It's great. It's great, man. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. So sorry not to have like anything too exciting as far as that goes, but I mean, there's always products too that are like releasing on zero products that may not be on like WCR. So there was just the white trad that came out on there. Also, orange came back. People were really requesting that. And then there's
Yeah,
a color that's like blue to green that came out. People love colors. I don't know if you've ever seen, on Facebook group, you see Sean Zimmerman's trailer. I mean, the dude
he's
has
insane.
the guy is
Yep.
great, man. He just like gets it. He goes for it. He's a super hard worker. And man, yeah, he just has that whole trailer like just all done up with every single color track pullers, like every squeegee on the wall. So that's like what things like people are really into is like colors. Like I can't imagine having 12 trad pulls, but I mean if it makes you happy, why not?
Yeah, Sean's setup is part museum, part
Mhm.
office, part trailer. And
Yep.
it is absolutely 100% awesome. Not part anything, it's 100% awesome. I'm
He has
gonna
it
give
so
Sean,
dialed in.
yeah, I'm gonna give him a shout out in the text right now, real quick, just because his stuff is pretty dope.
Yeah.
Somebody, you did mention just the crush. Somebody was just asking, what are your thoughts on it? Is it something that you use, or and I know you're not on the glass day to day anymore, but how do you feel about it?
And testing it, I love it, and that it has super good glide. It has the good orange scent to it. I think one of the things they talk about on the label is that it kind of has it. They don't call it exactly this, is that it might create like a hydrophobic effect after using it, as far as like the water running off the glass easier. I haven't seen that. But yeah, I think it's a great soap. People like foam. It's very foamy. It's very concentrated for how loose it is. I'm quite shocked as far as how little you need. But yeah, I think one of the things that like is a big difference from Dawn soap to when you move to window cleaning soaps, and you guys tell me what you find, being more like Deeds being in more humid climate, also Jason being in more like dry climate, is
Yeah,
that Dawn seems to leave behind like more bleeding than any
Like a
other
film, yeah.
solution. Yeah, exactly. A film, or like on a colder day, you could do a straight pull and you'll see a bunch of those lines come from the rubber, even with like working the solution in a little bit. So what I've noticed in moving to like window cleaning soaps is you don't really have that. I can't tell you the exact chemical that makes that difference, but there's definitely I think a big difference in using window cleaning soaps. Yes, they're going to be a little bit more expensive, but you get something like Glass Clean 4 that's actually made for window cleaning, that's not going to like clog those tiny microscopic pores and leave a film. I mean, it really makes a difference.
I was pouring
dude.
some in my bucket last week, the GG4, and some got one drop on the ground, and I noticed when water was dripping off the mop onto where I had dropped it, it was actually dispersing the water, so it wasn't allowing the water to hit that droplet area. So the
Kind of
GG4
separating.
does separates, yeah. So it does have some separate qualities in there that adds to the mix. It helps get window off
Yeah.
the glass, so to speak. It helps eliminate it.
Yeah.
So it works.
When I first I made a video a long time ago about like adding in like high slide water wetting agent, Dawn soap, Glass Clean 4, and 2 days later I got a call from Titan, and they were like, please gosh, please do not say to add Dawn to Glass Clean 4, because it totally takes away like what it's doing. I was like, I
Uh,
know, but you need that like glide. It's the only thing about it, is that like you can't teach someone brand new very well with just like Glass Clean, because then it's not very fun for them. There's a lot of squeaking here and there. So it's like Dawn is such a good thing to learn at. And then I have a lot of customers, right, that will use like Glass Clean 4 for residential and then use Dawn for commercial, just because they want to get like residential, the best look possible.
mm,
So I used Dawn for 14, 15, 16 years. And then when I started purchasing on a regular basis from WCR, I don't think I've used it in, I don't know, 4 years or something. I always have it on the truck, but I barely ever use it. And I just got some GG4, as you guys were saying. It's supposed to be here today or tomorrow. And of course, I'm out of town, but I will get somebody to get that off there for me. And are you guys using it as just an additive, or like
yeah.
you can't, do you use it straight?
I use Gladiator and just a couple drops, in the deal.
It has like a
Right.
weird quality, and I don't know if you guys find this too, of when you add it in, let's say you're cleaning, there's a super dirty like basement window or something with like a ton of crud. It just seems to break that down a lot quicker than if you just have Dawn. And so that's what I started noticing about it, doing a lot of residential. And that's why I started adding it in just during that, even with Dawn, knowing that, there's still some of like the quality being taken away from it, but it definitely just broke it down. So I would add it in with something. I don't know, Jason, if you like a sudsy solution or a very watery solution. If you just do glass gleam, it's watery. If you add in
Yeah.
just a couple drops of Dawn, it just makes it a little easier to work with.
Yeah, I am not. So I have a guy that actually makes soap out here too, and I was
Oh, cool.
contemplating on having him make a soap for me, kind of like some other people have done. Um, he gave me something that he already sold and already has packaged and everything, and it's like almost like a Windex consistency, like a super thin. Like I
Mhm.
don't like that's not how I like my soap or consistency of it. I'll use it, but that's not what I prefer. I like to have a little texture or a little density, you know what I mean? Little
Yep.
viscosity, I guess.
Yep.
Um, so do no, I just anything that's straight water, it just doesn't seem to work for me. I do like a little bit of bubbles, The one thing that I will say about the maker is it starts with like a nice foam, and then it tends to dissolve the foam. So you have to, um, rigorously get that stir it back up to get that soap action going. So,
Nice.
um, yeah. But let me ask you another question, because this is about the time where we start to wrap up.
Yeah.
Um, who are, you mentioned about the guy Jim that you worked with a long time ago. Who are some of the mentors or some of the guys that you look up to?
Minotaurs.
And honestly,
Minutes.
one of my favorite guys in the industry is Jersey. Jersey and I have gotten very close over the years, and I have a lot of respect for the guy. Just in the way that he talks to people, I've seen him in a lot of circumstances. I mean, the guy can carry a conversation, no problem at all. I've learned a ton from him as far as just the way that he organizes things and creating, never like burning out. He's just very regimented in like what he does, and it's awesome to see. I mean, it's the only guy I've seen keep to a freaking diet for like years compared to anybody else I know. And then learning from Chris and Alex has been a crazy learning experience from over the years. I mean, when I first joined in and started doing sales, when you start doing sales, it's like very frustrating when you lose a sale to somebody else. But as you talk about it to people who've been doing it for years and they're really able to kind of like teach you different ways to kind of deal with it and get around it and show your value. That's been a huge thing. And who better to learn from two guys that went from starting a window cleaning company 2007, starting the forum, doing everything there, and then creating this whole entire business. Like every time I go out to the warehouse, I'm shocked by what they've created. And I always think to myself, I honestly don't think that I could have ever even possibly done that like in my life. So the inspiration behind seeing someone do that and being able to talk to them is crazy. And so those would be my top three as far as the people that I talk to regularly and that gave me a lot of motivation, but also are just straight up with me. I think that's like one of the most helpful things. They don't beat around the bush. They just give it to you straight. And that's, I think, the most helpful thing.
Yeah, I think that that's super, super important. Um, Another question. Top 3 to 5 content creators. Who you got?
Oh man, Luke has always been there. As far as that goes, I think I started in 2014. I think he started in 2015, and like, I got very linked in with WCR partially because of him. So I'm always very thankful to Luke. These days, I really like Puff window cleaning. I don't think many people watch his YouTube channel. He's out in California. He's great. Um,
Who was that again?
it's Puff window cleaning. I don't remember exactly his first name, but like check him
I'll
out
look
on
him up.
YouTube. Yeah.
Little Johnny
Um,
Paper.
yeah. And
So,
then let's see
nobody.
who else. I watch a lot of stuff that's not anything to do with window cleaning. I watch a lot of like travel YouTube stuff. That's kind of odd. But let's see, like other people in the industry. Gosh, so much of it now is like these short videos, that it's not a lot of these long videos that like we used to do. There's a guy I think out of Europe, his name's Mitch. He creates a lot of good content. And of course, like not to be corny, but you guys have created something very good and you've been very consistent with it. And
Thank you.
that's been really awesome to see. And obviously, you're getting your names out there even more and more. I mean, you both I have been known for a while. I remember meeting Mark, I mean, maybe, gosh, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, maybe through like Facebook message, and we used to talk like a little bit through there. So I think just like you guys have found, consistency with this stuff is really like what makes it grow. And
Uh,
one other person I'd really say he doesn't make regular content, but maybe the person that loves the industry the most is Craig Hensel. I mean, the guy
yes.
is who he is, but man, after being at the convention and seeing his booth and seeing how much, man,
It meant
love,
to him.
yeah, dude, he has so much love for every single moment that's ever happened in window cleaning that's really cool to see. And you don't have to be I think, a regular content creator, but he puts out a lot of tips and he has a plethora of information from being in the field for so many years. So those would be kind of
Yes.
like my top ones.
That's outstanding. I wasn't throwing that out there for you to give us a little love, but that makes my heart full. That's
Oh,
really
thank you.
cool. Thank you. Thank you for throwing us in there.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I kind of mentioned this earlier. I never really got onto I never watched people show me how to clean windows because I already knew how to clean windows. I'm just now getting into watching Luke's new stuff. There's something about his tone. There's something about his delivery. There's something uh calming, I guess, and reassuring when he shows a video or when he shows something. It's dialed in to perfection and it's pretty awesome. So I'm
Yeah.
with you on that one. Like I said, I didn't see any of his stuff until recently, and I really enjoy watching his stuff. So I agree with
Definitely.
you on the majority of those.
Yeah.
Um, Dee, do you want to give a shout out to anybody before we get off of here?
No, it's thank you, SteveO, for being here. Yeah, I watched a ton of your videos starting out. You're one of the reasons I got into window cleaning because you made it easy, accessible, and explained it all. Keith Kalfas was another one that I watched. I bought his damn $500 cleaning blueprint course, watched all
Oh,
that, and that was neat.
good.
Same thing with Jersey. His podcast, he's got, if you just scroll through him, you can pick one juicy nugget, one episode, and it fills you with info. So definitely, you guys were inspiration to me, and thank you for all you're doing for the community. And thanks for coming on this morning.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. And yeah, if I ever can come on again, that'd be awesome.
For sure,
Dude,
definitely.
yeah, we'd love to have you on anytime. It's been really amazing to me that you, Jersey, Chris, Alex, the whole gang have been receptive to what it is that we're trying to do. And it just means a lot to us that you guys have been readily available. It's just another way of showing that you guys care not only about the industry, but about the people who are in and around. Um,
Definitely.
it just like I said, it goes to show what quality people you guys are.
Thank you.
I we had a Jesus Ramirez. He wanted to give you a shout out. Said thanks. Sean Zimmerman said SteveO, shout out for helping me get the trailer together. Um, you've got fans all over the country and all over the world. So I've watched people walk up to you and tell you the same thing, but it's got to be kind of cool just still hearing people giving you shout out and love.
Yeah.
Because you're great at what you do, brother. So I wanted to give you a shout out. Kind of like what you said to Chris and Alex, Jersey, everybody over at WCR. I'd like to give a shout out to our guest of ours that was on, I think it was last week, Mike Nichols, who
Yeah.
has been uh, a mentor of mine, a friend of mine, an ear to bend, a just he's just an all around great guy. Lower Rung podcast and Squeegee Life for doing what they do as long as they have done.
Yep.
Those guys hold it down, and if it weren't for guys like those guys doing what they do, I don't think Mark and I would be doing what we're doing. So, that's, you got to give respect and love to those who come before you.
Yeah.
Um, but the last group of people I'd like to thank are the people who keep coming in every morning and joining us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. There's a couple of cats who have been here since day one. Mike Matthews, Squeegee Tom, Damien, John Magdos, those cats. They've been here day in and day out. So, and they've given me support when I was on the road, and our industry is just full of amazing men and women. So, if you don't have a buddy in this industry yet, if you don't have somebody that you can count on, reach out to somebody. Find somebody
Yeah.
that will hold you accountable. That's the other kind of part of the reason why Mark and I started this is when we were in Vegas, we had coffee every morning and we'd see each other. And we're like, "Fuck, that was fun. Like we just started our day off hanging out with our buddies. Why can't we do that at home?" And we're like, well, we can. Well, it'd be, in the beginning, it was just Mark and I talking to one another, but it just keeps growing and growing. And we just hope that it keeps doing that. I do have actually one more question before we hang up.
Yeah.
IWCA, PWNA, Orlando, February. Are you going to be there? Is that set yet? What's the deal?
Yeah, I believe so. I think we're going to have the WCR booth and the Zero booth there. And so I would think that probably Alex, Jersey, probably Zane, maybe somebody else too are going to be there. Yeah, that's a
Awesome.
super fun. I the Las Vegas one, that was my first IWCA. And I truly enjoyed it, honestly, more than the huge conventions because
Uh,
it was just window cleaners and the community feel there felt really awesome. Like I had some really good conversations there, a lot of fun there too. So that it was a super good time. So I'm looking forward
no,
to it.
no, no. We know why you had so much fun there. It was
Yes.
the Black Widow who was wrapped around your neck.
Yeah, exactly.
Did she get a hold of John B as well?
She did that. She got a hold of John B first, and John B was a little uncomfortable, so he's just swooped in to bring that away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you were his life preserver on that one. I feel like I don't know if John normally blushes, but yeah, he got good. I think
Oh yeah.
Mark actually has pictures of all that stuff
Oh
still.
great.
Yeah. That's in
Um,
Let's
there
keep that
somewhere.
in your phone, Mark.
That's in.
maybe we'll add that to the Goo and Deeds podcast page. No,
It'll be on
no,
the
no.
WCR calendar. It'll be
Please
November.
go.
Oh, that's a good idea. Well, listen, we won't keep you any longer. We really, truly appreciate all your time and what you do for our community. Thanks for joining us this morning, and we'll catch you guys on Monday.
All right,
Deeds, I
man.
think I might be in an airport again. Who knows?
Airport Central.
All
All
right,
right. Well,
guys,
thanks
have
for
a
coming
great
on,
weekend.
guys.
All right, see
Take
ya.
care, everybody, and thanks for popping in.
Change your rubbers, everybody.
And I hope your passion bucket's full.